Good morning, it's Shanna. This week I was going to do a different video than I'm about to record. I had notes and my iPad won't load them. I don't know why. So we're winging it this week because I know last week I missed a video because I had family in town. It was my daughter's baby shower and I didn't have the mental capacity to also film a video. So we are back this week, and I received the revised edition of the Somnia Tarot, which I'm super excited to get into. If you've been here a minute, you know that I have the original version as well, but it's starting to work for me. Like, I'm starting to sort of crack the ice around its I don't know, personality. But I'm really excited to get into this one. I've only flipped through it a couple of times, and I do feel like this one has a very separate energy from the first version. So I'm really excited to get into this, but that's not why we're here today. Since this deck it's essentially the same deck as the first, just without borders. Instead, I'm going to do a flip through of the Oracle, the Somnia Tarot Oracle series. And I don't know what the series means. Like, I don't know if there going to be another Oracle. Maybe. I'm really bad at like reading all the details. So if there is, I have no idea. But we're going to focus on this deck today. I believe this is still in order. I do not think I shuffled it. But if you haven't ordered these decks, if you have not ordered them, and you're curious whether or not it shuffles better than the first edition of the Somnia, yes, it does. It shuffles beautifully right out of the box. There's no breaking in required, and I'm super excited for that because that was a huge barrier for me with the first edition. It just, it was a big deck. It was too stiff, and I couldn't shuffle it. So I'm thrilled with this one, and I've just kind of thumbed through, so I've looked at like maybe 15 or 20 of these cards. So we're just going to flip through and give thoughts. Here is the guidebook that it comes with. You've got your contents. It looks like it is in, it's not. I was going to say it's in alphabetical, but no, it's not. Especially because most of these start with the, which is interesting. I would have organized this differently, but that's okay. They are numbered. The cards are not numbered, unfortunately. Strangely. Are these in alphabetical? Nope. Okay, that's somewhat disappointing, I'll be honest. I would have left out the in the contents, or at least done the word comma and then the, just so that this could be in alphabetical order, because this is kind of a pain, I'll be honest. Someone who does not like to organize has put this together. That's okay. We're moving on. So we've got the preface, and then we get right into each card. We've got keywords, and then it looks like there's a description of the card itself, and then it looks like there's the kind of what the card means, and then maybe a single sentence, like an action that you can do. Seek guidance from a mentor or elder who can offer perspective from their life experience, and so on. So you get a page for each one-ish, a page-ish. So I'm excited. I wasn't really sure how I wanted to do this, but I'm not sure how I'm going to get on with this deck. I'm super thrilled with the tarot. And you know what? I wanted to get the Oracle because I like the tarot so much. So without rambling on more, let's just dig right in. So we've got the Veil. This card reminds me very much of the Tarot of Mystical Moments. There's one of the cards, I feel like it's like a man, or maybe it's a woman. I don't know. Anyway, there's red curtains in that card, and if I can remember, if I think about it, I will post a picture of that card on the screen. But if you have Tarot of Mystical Moments, you probably know which one I'm talking about. So let's just slide this over a hair. Slide that guy up here. All right, we have the Ancestor. I do love the colors, but I will say I feel like they've been oversaturated a little in here. unnecessarily, in my opinion. It feels a little, I don't know. If you're a photographer, I want to say in like maybe the early 2000s, saturating everything was a trend. And I just think we've kind of come away from that. So I'm a little surprised to see. And you know what? It is entirely possible that that is not even the case. Maybe the creator didn't saturate at all. I have no idea. Maybe this is just the way their photography style is, comes across. I don't know what his system is. But to me, it appears oversaturated. So I'm really excited to get into this. A lot of times, we'll get decks and we're excited and we want to play with it, and the images are so pretty. I feel like we're easily drawn into them. But when it comes right down to working with decks, sometimes I feel like despite their beauty, they just don't resonate for us. And that's when we wind up moving on our decks. But in this case, because it's photography and because I've used other photography decks from other creators and they've always worked really well, and because I've had the original Somnia Tarot for so many years, and despite it not working for me, I've held on to it, I've kept it. I can't help but think that this is going to be similar, other than I'm hoping that it works better for me. And the reason the first edition of the Somnia Tarot didn't, we'll go with didn't, because I do feel like we're making headway together. But it just felt very condescending. And that's personifying my deck, but at the end of the day, that's what I do. It's a he, it's a she, it's a they. They take on these human qualities, and I enjoy doing that. So it does feel a little condescending. It feels like it's looking down its nose at me, like I just simply don't understand it. Like, how could I possibly, given my mundane human status? I don't know. Anyway, I'm excited to get into this one. So this is Absolution. I will say the font is, or the text, I guess, is really difficult to read. Maybe not on every card. Are you even able to see it? I feel like you can't even see it in the camera. I think because it's gold gilded, and because of whatever background it happens to be on, depending on the card, it can be very difficult to read. I feel like in like lamplight, like in the evening, or candlelight, I think this would be very difficult to read. I mean, sitting at this angle where I'm at, with the lack of glare from where I'm sitting, I really can't even read that. So I would have to pick it up and sort of tip it so that the light catches it, which is fine. It's not a deal breaker, but it was an interesting choice. Sometimes I feel like choices are made on these cards from people who maybe don't regularly use their cards. And again, I'm making huge assumptions. I don't know this person. I don't know their story. The only story I know is, I guess this person that Nicholasbruno, they had a difficult time sleeping during COVID, if I remember right. I'm really bad at details. And so that was what the tarot, was created from. So I have no idea if they read or use their cards or other decks. I'm rambling. But do you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like sometimes creators make these beautiful things, but they're not usable. I don't think this is unusable. I just think that other choices could have been made. The imagery is gorgeous, though. I think it's very evocative. I think it's thought-provoking. I think there's a lot to get from each image, despite how relatively simple it is. I mean, here we've got like the hay, we've got the tree, we've got the background clouds, the burning bed, right? And this seemingly child sitting here. So there's, 6 elements-ish to this image, and yet there's so much emotion built into it. I'm just really excited to dig into it. This is usually, whenever I pull out the Somnia Tarot, it's usually, I want to say like January, but I truly feel like I can see using this. I just want to like zoom in and see what that says. I feel like I can use this now. You know, it's mid-October. I feel like the winter/fall months. I think you could potentially even use this in the summer. I'm not sure if this is even actual text. If it is, it's exceptionally small and unreadable, which is fine. The journal. What do we have here? Like an ink pot and a pen. Love that. The Sentinels. Sorry, I should have been reading these all along. Here's the back. They're beautiful. It's kind of it's like a deep, deep burgundy, like almost brown, like a deep chocolate brown, but definitely leans red. The Watchman. I will read these because, like I said, they're difficult to... If I flipped through any of these cards and you couldn't tell what the title was and you would like to know what the title is, just comment and I'll let you know. But I'll try to read going forward. So we have the Pioneer. Like, this one's pretty easy to read. I am a little bummed. I had a whole thing planned for today. I guess we'll save it for next week. The Horizon. The Haven. These are so pretty. I love that these are photography. You know, I'm going to assume most of you probably feel the same way, but I am really burnt out on seeing all of these AI decks coming out. Just AI art in general. Like, I'm kind of over it. You know, like, I appreciate it. I think AI is cool. I think it's a cool tool. But I'm like it's so meh when it comes to artwork. Like, there's just no... I don't know. I won't get into it more than that. Just saying that. I'm bored of seeing AI. So to be able to have a photography deck where someone went out and put in physical hours and labor and pressed the shutter button, made artistic decisions. Sorry, I'm not reading these. The Wayfarer. We've got Continuum over here. I just really appreciate that. And I think it goes a lot further than any AI deck. So that's just my opinion. Again, I'm not against AI. I'm kind of bored of it. The Vestige. The Departure. The Initiation. This one reminds me of that movie, had Nicole Kidman and Tom Cruise in it. Eyes Wide Shut. I don't think I ever even watched that movie the whole way through, but that just reminds me of that. That was such a weird movie. The Ascent. I don't love that it says "the" in front of everyone. Like, I think you could have left that out. I think the card would have stood well on its own without "the" in front of everything. That's kind of annoying. But, you know, decisions were made. Spirit of Air. I did see these. So we've got air, fire. My big hand is in the way, sorry. Spirit of Water. I'll put them together. And then Spirit of Earth. So I just think, I love those. I think they're so pretty together. Separate together. I love the colors. Again, I feel like this one doesn't feel quite as saturated as like this one does. And this one, I don't know. I would have liked to see more natural colors, I guess. To a point. I mean, I know as a photographer, I know that in order to get the depth, you know, the whites and the blacks and all the colors and everything to pop, that you do need to saturate to a certain degree sometimes. But I feel like this one almost feels like it wasn't saturated nearly as much. I don't mind this one. That's Immersion. Illumination. That's kind of creepy. I don't get spooky vibes from this. The Seeker. I mean, maybe this card specifically. Sorry, I'm yawning. Someone's taking a nap later. The Alchemist. Do you guys ever watch, speaking of The Alchemist, have you guys watched Breaking Bad? I'm on season 2. My son watched it and talked about it for a couple of years and told me he thought I would like it. And I just was like, I don't really want to watch that. I watched Weeds, you know, back in the day, and I really liked that show or movie. Yeah, I guess show. And I just thought, oh, it's going to be kind of the same thing, which kind of, I mean, concept-wise, kind of the same thing. But I really like the characters in Breaking Bad. I like the way they're written. This is the augur, the castaway. I like the way they're written. I like the storyline. The characters are relatable to a degree. The messenger. This is creepy. I will say this one's creepy. I mean, look at his face. Is this not... Oh, it is. This is the image on the tarot. So interesting. What... Are we copying? Are we doubling up on images? Let's take a quick look. I'm going to see if I can find this in the tarot. Okay, it looks like in the tarot it's death, which he's looking a different way. So, okay, I can let that slide, but it's literally the same image. I mean, look, you can see the exact same wrinkles here in each one. I don't love that. I mean, I don't know. I feel like you could have at least maybe taken this figure off of the horse and used that image in the oracle. Also, this wasn't that was it the water or the air maybe as the Hierophant? Let's look. Oh, spirit of air. No, this is not the same image. It's a different chair. So, okay. I accept that. Yeah, I think that would have been annoying. Oops, I'm going to put the wrong deck with the wrong... Good thing the backs are different. I don't even know what I was talking about. Oh, Breaking Bad. So, it's good. Have you watched it? Did you like it? Comment below. Let's have a conversation. I just feel kind of chatty today. Uh-oh. Okay. The Revenant. What is the Revenant? Would we even... Like, if I was going to write this in a sentence, would it even be the Revenant? Can someone be a Revenant? Or is Revenant a way of being? I don't know. I will have to Google that later. Unless you know, by all means, comment, enlighten me. We have the Mare, M-A-R-E, weird. The Mare, okay. There is so much happening in this image. Like, is she holding this person hostage? Is she like holding vigil for them while they go through this like breakdown? Is this figure afraid of this figure? I don't know. There's so much here to question. I almost feel like I probably won't be using the guidebook with this deck. Like, I almost don't even want to know what the artist's intention was with this. I think I would just do this purely by intuition. We have the Tether. Because I feel like once I understand what the artist intended with this, like, I won't be able to look past that. I adore this image so much. This reminds me of when we lived in Texas, and after a big rain, everything would just be flooded, you know. Parks, waterways, everything's flooded, you know. Trails where we would normally go run, you couldn't because literally there were alligators or crocodiles. I can never remember which was which. But like, you couldn't go because there were snakes and crocodiles. So you'd have to wait a week for everything to recede. I do. That's very pretty. That makes me feel things. The Captor. Wow. A little bit stuck together. This is very matte cardstock. Very matte? Yeah, very matte cardstock. But despite that, it does shuffle well. It just kind of sticks when it sits together. This makes me laugh. This is like a comical card to me. Like, look at this guy in the back. That's funny. I like that. Little comic relief there. The Reckoning. I'm really excited about this deck. I just feel like there's so much to get out of every image. We have the Maelstrom. Like, are these guys rescuing him? Where's that lady? Where's the lady that was with him? Is this part of her gown? Has she drowned? I don't know. There's so much to get from this. Fortitude. Yes, because while flooded in the cold rain with my grandmother's chairs, I'm going to be pouring a cup of tea. I love that. Like, he's like, I don't give a shit. I'm going to have afternoon tea and I will enjoy myself and then I'll go back to panicking. I like it. Composure. Yeah. The Dousing. Okay, is this person pouring water to put it out? Dousing the fire? Or are they pouring gasoline and making it worse? I don't know. I appreciate the questions that this deck initiates. We have Recovery. Preservation. The Bastion. Some of these I might look up. If I look up this word, the Bastion, because again, I'm not really sure what that word is. If I don't know like how that relates, if I look it up and see the definition and I'm not sure how that might relate to this card, I might look it up in the guidebook. The Drift. But like, I would not look this up in the guidebook. Like, I don't want to know. I want to make my own meanings out of this. The Drift. Honestly, this is such a, the Weight. This is a deck that I could see using if going through like a depressive episode. The Dispute. Though I could also see it being very triggering if you were going through a depressive episode. But it's such a quiet deck. I appreciate the lack of voice, thereby giving itself a voice, if that makes any kind of sense. Severance. I love this. The Deluge. The Sundering. The Target. That's slightly disturbing. This feels very M. Night Shyamalan to me. I probably said their name wrong, but you know who I'm talking about. Affliction. Ooh. That's disturbing. Malevolence. Divergence. Exposure. Duality. Very Ace of Wands or High Priestess. The Labyrinth. The Burden. Wow. I wonder if they're actually, there's no, yeah, no. I was going to say, I wonder if they're actually carrying 4 people. And then I realized, no, because 4 people are not going to fit in that chest. I don't think even 4 children, and their heads are, anyway. My brain is going all over the place with this. The Reverie. dissonance. This card makes me think of the Witch's Tarot. I think I'm going to try and pair that. Shall we see how those pair? The Catharsis. I'm pretty sure there's a card in the tarot that's like that as well. Since I have this right here, let's take a quick peek at how these pair. I'm going to zoom out just a hair. All right, YouTube. Get ready for some nudity, some artistic, excuse me very much, nudity. It's photography, it's in a tarot deck. This is not going against your rules. I've read them. This is not what we're doing. We are looking at art. Photography, tarot deck, divination. We are not doing this to be little pervs or something, okay? So YouTube, chill out. Okay. I think the colors in this are going to work beautifully. So you've got dissonance. Oh, you know what? I always forget to shuffle. Always, always, always. I'm going to do a quick shuffle. All right. Do you want to see? I will show you how well the Somnia shuffles. And the card stock between the revised edition and the Oracle is the same. Isn't it? I'm fairly certain. And because there are so many cards in the Oracle, it wouldn't matter if you did 2 Oracle and 1 Tarot or vice versa, which I like because sometimes I want to do 2 Oracle. But I think for this one I would rather do 1 Oracle with that. That's sort of it's an in-depth keyword. Okay, 2 of Swords, the Tether, and the Moon. 2 of Swords. I'm not going to try to read each of these because we'd be here forever, and I really want to look at more cards. But I guess if something grabs me, we'll discuss at that point. 2 of Coins, Malevolence, and 2 of Wands. Wow, lots of 2s. 2 of Swords, Coins, and Wands. Wow. Interesting. The Hierophant. Look, we've got duality after all those 2s. The Hierophant, duality, and Ace of Coins. This is very pretty together. Which I appreciate because I don't think I really had very many things that I enjoy pairing with the Witch's Tarot. Did I show you the cover? This is the Witch's Tarot. It's by Burningpaperhearts. All right, 6 of Swords, the Cash, and the Druid. Look, oh my gosh, look at this. We've got Coven, Spirit of Earth, and the Devil. Yes, please and thank you. This is giving me chills. Now looking at this, I'm coming back to being more appreciative of the saturation, because I feel like a more natural, if we had dialed back that saturation, I don't think it would have sat as well with the Witch's Tarot. King of Wands, the Animus, and the High Priestess. This is beautiful. All right, we have Justice, the Reckoning, and 10 of Cups. I like that together. I like Justice and the Reckoning. 10 of Cups. I would have to sit with that to decide how that played in. Knight of Wands, the Ancestor, and Page of Coins. This is gorgeous. This might be a pairing that sticks. The Mother, the Vestige, the Empress. Wow. Look at him running away from these two. He's like, no thank you, I'm done. Because these two are going to eat him alive. Let's look up what the Vestige means. Because now I'm curious. A trace of something that is disappearing or no longer exists. Okay. So I feel like the here is unnecessary, but maybe that's just me. I would prefer that the was not there. Sorry, bear with me here. I'm feeling excited and I start to stutter. Okay, Ace of Wands, the Sundering and Death. Wow, okay. This is intense. We have Selene, Dissonance, and Six of Wands. Now, is Selene an extra card in this? I don't remember. Queen of Wands, the Target, and Wheel of Fortune. Look at that. OMG. Look at this. Sorry. I'm calming down. Queen of Swords. I just feel like she's the knife thrower here, right? And she's just, this is good. Are you guys seeing this? I'm not crazy, right? We've got Wayne, the Veil, and Ten of Swords. Five of Wands, the Presence, and Ten of Coins. The Lovers, Elimination, and the Emperor. Should we keep going? I'm going to keep going. I can't really think of any. I mean, I could think of others. Like, you could probably, if you wanted to do Oracle on Oracle, you could do the Death Doula. Honestly, you know what? I'm going to try. Let's try a couple others. I have some that are just sitting here at my desk. I'm not going to get up and go do a whole pairings thing with this from all my decks that I own, but I have a couple sitting here that I want to try. Call me crazy, but I want to try Little Bird just because I know that I like jewel tones paired with this deck. That's been kind of my go-to. And since this has that saturation to it, not sure if this is going to quite work. We'll see. Let's see. Energy might just be a little different, but I don't know. Did I shuffle Little Bird? No. Should I shuffle Little Bird? Yes. Should I also shuffle? I will shuffle the remaining cards so that we don't see the same ones. Whoop. All right, we have Seven of Wands, the Initiation, and Seven of Pentacles. We have 7 figures back here. That's interesting. We have Temperance, the Labyrinth, and Knight of Cups. Okay, so color-wise, I think if you're just going color, I think it could work. But the energy is completely different. I'm not feeling that one, kind of right off the bat. The energy is, those are 2 different languages. Okay, the other one I wanted to try, actually there were 2, potentially 3. Let's try Majestic Earth. Okay, that's really pretty. So we have 2 of clouds, the augur, and 6 of water. Ace of water, the ward, and death. I think these can work as well too. And I think it gives a completely different vibe than the Witch's Tarot did. Nine of water, the guide, and 5 of water. Creature of clouds, spirit of fire, and the tempest. Wow, that's intense. I do like this. 2 of trees, the passage, and upturned. I like the arches here. Like here we're looking from this angle, and here we're looking from a different angle, but it's the same figure. It looks like the same figure to me. And I feel like here he could potentially, if the, you know, the ocean's over off of to this side, and this is kind of what he's looking out at. We've got that storm coming in here. Oh, I don't know. I like this. 6 of clouds with fortitude and creature of water. He is being the creature of water. I like this. We have the high priestess, the pioneer, and spirit of clouds. This, I like the way these flow. Each of these sort of have, it's sort of a panoramic view, I guess. Three of clouds, the catharsis, and ace of stones, or stone. Creature of stone, the haven, and spirit of trees. That's very, very beautiful. I like how these two seem like they're from the same landscape, and this is very like divisive. Okay, let's look at just a couple more. 8 of stone, the bastion, and 6 of trees. Ten of water, recovery, and 7 of water. Interesting. It's almost like we need that water in order to initiate the recovery. Okay, well, out of 2 pairings, I think these are both winners, honestly. I had another in mind, but I don't think it's going to look as good as I had imagined, so I'm not even going to show you. I'm not even going to show you. Anyway, that's all I have for this week. I was excited to use, or to show this deck and share it. I'm curious if you have it, if you've used it, if you like it, what kind of vibes it's giving to you. And I considered maybe doing a comparison of the first version of Somnia Tarot compared to the revised edition. If you would like to see that, let me know. I mean, maybe I'll do it anyway, but I'd love to know if you're interested. But yeah, let me know. Did you care for either or both of these pairs? And I think that's all I have for us this week. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your week. Thank you once again for being here, hanging out, sticking through with me until the end. And I will catch up with you next week.